Footballers seem to have it all, from expensive diamond jewelry to expensive Porsche cars and even huge paychecks. So it is almost unthinkable to think that a football star can even go broke. And despite the massive earnings in European football, sometimes the lavish lifestyle and huge salaries can lead to some pretty bad decisions, leaving some players in a tough spot after their careers wind down. So here's a look at 10 players who lost it all. Alan Hudson. Alan Hudson is a former gunner, although he is probably better remembered for his time with Chelsea, Stoke, and his 4-year stint in the United States. Hudson was a star on the pitch, clocking in around 500 games and even snagging 2 caps for England back in '75. But life after hanging up his boots? It's been a bit of a roller coaster for Hudson. He faced some pretty tough times, battling severe alcohol issues, hitting bankruptcy, and in a shocking turn of events, got run over in '97. Imagine, he was in a coma for 2 months and went through nearly 70 surgeries. He even thought it was an attempt on his life. Nowadays, he's older and seems to be out of the woods with major problems, but you've got to think, for a player with his talent and class, life could have been a lot smoother. He truly deserved more from life after giving so much to the game. Dominic Matteo. A name that resonates with fans of Liverpool, Leeds, and Scotland's national team. His career, stretching from 1992 to 2009, was primarily lit up in the Premier League spotlight. Matteo was part of that lucky bunch of footballers who, in theory, should have been set for life after retiring, without needing to lift a finger again. Matteo, a Leeds hero who once helped carry the team to a Champions League semi-final, found himself caught up in the high-stakes world of gambling and racehorse ownership, especially during a tough time when injuries were piling up. By the time he decided to call it quits, he'd already gambled away sums that most of us can only dream of, hitting the 7-figure mark. In a turn of events that feels straight out of a movie, by 2015, Matteo faced bankruptcy, a staggering fall from grace for the once Leeds United ambassador. The twist? Matteo, who even gambled away his daughter's inheritance, has been open about his regrets. He's turned his hard-learned lessons into advice, urging fellow footballers to handle their earnings with care. It's a sobering reminder that no matter how high you fly, keeping your feet on the ground and planning for the future is crucial. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for exclusive insights into the world of football, delivered fresh to your inbox every single week. John Barnes. Oh, John Barnes. Talk about a footballer who had it all. The pace, the moves, the killer finishing touch, and of course, a hefty bank balance to boot. But as life has it, not everything stayed sunny for him. Barnes is a legend, especially known for his glory days with Watford and Liverpool, not to forget his time with Newcastle and a short stint at Charlton. Yet, it's his Liverpool era that really sticks in people's minds. During his decade at Anfield, Barnes was on fire, scooping up the Player of the Year and Footballer of the Year awards and bagging 8 trophies along the way. Post-retirement, Barnes tried his hand at management, but let's just say it didn't go as smoothly as his playing career. His coaching gigs included Celtic in 2000 and the Jamaican national team in 2008. But after a rough patch and a sacking by Tranmere in 2009, he found himself facing bankruptcy. Fast forward to now, and Barnes has bounced back, swapping the pitch for the punditry studio. He's sharing his insights on ESPN and SuperSport, proving that even after a fall, he's far from out. Cheers, Barney. Keith Gillespie. Imagine being on a team with legends like Ryan Giggs, Paul Scholes, David Beckham, and Gary Neville. Well, Keith Gillespie didn't have to imagine. He lived it as part of the 1992 Manchester United FA Youth Cup squad. Making his mark at Old Trafford at just 17, Gillespie then made waves with a headline-grabbing move to Newcastle at 20. He racked up over 100 appearances for Newcastle, Blackburn, and Sheffield United, among others, before hanging up his boots in 2013 at the grand old age of 38. But here's the twist in this sweet tale. Gillespie managed to lose a staggering $11 million fortune, a victim of his gambling addiction and some unlucky investments in property and films. By 2010, he faced bankruptcy, but turned his experiences into a compelling read titled How Not to Be a Football Millionaire. It's an eye-opener and a real talk from someone who's been through the highs and lows, making it a must-read for every footballer out there. Paul Merson. Paul Merson, or Merce as he's affectionately known, really left his mark at Highbury, spending 12 unforgettable years there. Flying down the right wing, he played more than 300 games for Arsenal, becoming a true Gunner legend. But life off the pitch threw him some curveballs. Throughout his career, Merson battled with addiction, and it didn't get any easier after he hung up his boots. He ended up losing a whopping $10 million to his struggles. Nowadays, he's channeling his energy into rebuilding, working as a commentator and pundit for Sky Sports. It's inspiring to see him taking steps to get his life back on track, showing everyone that it's possible to make a comeback, no matter how tough things get. Emmanuel Eboué. Emmanuel Eboué, once a fan favorite at Arsenal for his lively personality and on-field skills, hit a really rough patch that goes to show life can throw curveballs at anyone. After his divorce, Eboué faced what seemed like an avalanche of challenges that left him almost empty-handed, a situation that's all too common among footballers when marital bliss turns sour. The troubles didn't stop at his divorce. Eboué also had to deal with the heartbreaking loss of 2 close relatives, and to add to his woes, he was hit with a suspension from football for not settling a debt with his agent. It was a series of blows that would test anyone's strength. During these tough times, Eboué reached a point where he considered the unthinkable, contemplating ending his life. It's a sobering reminder of how deeply challenging life can become, especially after the end of a marriage, even for those we see as always happy and invincible on the pitch. Paul Gascoigne. Paul Gascoigne, or Gaza as he's fondly known, is a name that resonates with a blend of awe and empathy among England's football fans. After the Italia '90 World Cup, he became more than just a player to the Three Lions supporters. He became a legend they felt deeply connected to. In a way that's rare in the world of football, Gaza's talent on the field was undeniable, often described as one of England's most gifted players ever. But it's said that there's no genius without a hint of madness, and Gaza had his fair share and then some. Battling severe alcoholism, bulimia, OCD, bipolar disorder, along with chain smoking and marijuana use, Gaza faced an uphill battle against a slew of personal demons. These struggles took a significant toll on his health and well-being, leading to a tough phase where he was frequently in and out of rehab and hospitals. His financial health also took a hit, resulting in him filing for bankruptcy in 2008 and nearly doing so again in 2011. Jon Arne Riise. Did you know Jon Arne Riise is the only Norwegian who made it onto this list? And let me tell you, his career was something special, even more than some folks give it credit for. Riise had a heck of a run over 15 years in the top leagues of France, England, and Italy, where he must have raked in quite the pile of cash. But it's his spell at Liverpool that people remember most fondly. There, he snagged 7 trophies, with the crown jewel being that unforgettable 2005 Champions League win. After a storied career, Riise wrapped up his playing days in Cyprus with a pull, and he stands tall as Norway's most capped player, having donned the national jersey 110 times. But here's a twist in the tale. While at Liverpool in 2007, Riise found himself declared bankrupt over unpaid debts of around $150,000. Just goes to show, even the brightest stars can hit a bump or two on their journey. Eric Djemba Djemba. When you hear the name Eric Djemba Djemba, you're probably going to find him on one of 3 lists. And let's just say, they're not the kind you'd brag about. We're talking about lists like the worst Premier League signings, the not-so-great Premier League players, or those unfortunate souls who've seen their fortunes disappear. What's even more striking about Djemba Djemba's story is that he hit bankruptcy at a time when, on paper, he should have been rolling in it, especially after his stint with Manchester United. His time at Old Trafford? Well, it didn't exactly go as planned. The Cameroonian midfielder seemed a bit like a fish out of water there. And after those challenging 2 years in England, his career took him on a rather eclectic journey across the globe. Picture this, from Qatar SC to OB, then flying over to Hapoel Tel Aviv, making a stop at Partizan, before moving to St. Mirren, Chennaiyin FC, and even Persebaya Surabaya in Indonesia. It's a list that reads more like a globetrotter's travel diary than a football CV. George Best. George Best, without a doubt, stands out as the most talented guy on this list, and back in his heyday, he was the talk of the town. During his 11-year stint with Manchester United, he wasn't just one of the best. He was the player everyone else was measured against, clinching the Ballon d'Or in 1968, the same year United triumphed in the European Cup. Best was at the pinnacle of football glory. Even though footballers didn't rake in the megabucks back then like they do now, Best was still at the top of the earnings ladder, thanks in part to his celebrity status, and let's be honest, those movie star looks. By 1980, Best had blown through all his cash. He had a way with words, famously saying, "I spent a lot of money on booze, birds, and fast cars. The rest I just squandered." It's a line that gets a chuckle, but it also hints at the darker side of his life. His battle with alcoholism didn't just drain his bank account, it took a toll on his relationships and health, leading him down a path that ultimately contributed to his untimely death. So there you go, folks. A journey through the ups and downs of 10 football legends who soared high and then, sadly, fell hard. It's a wild reminder that even the most talented stars aren't immune to the pitfalls that fame and success can bring, especially in the rollercoaster world of football. Stick around for more eye-opening tales from the football universe next time. Thanks for tuning in, and hey, if you enjoyed the ride, don't forget to smash that like button and hit subscribe for your regular fix of football stories. Catch you on the flip side.